if we don't ever plan these things that bring us joy and actually do them, they just swirl around in our head and they make us feel busier than we really are. There's something so beautiful about deciding and moving forward, and I would love to support you in that way. Hello, and welcome to the Connect podcast. This show is all about helping you connect to your soul's calling so you can take action on it. Because the sweetest success is a blend of discovering your purpose with the inner drive to bring it to life. I'm Sheila, health coach, lifestyle entrepreneur, and mom of two, best known for my online wellness programs, mentoring, and self-love passion. Listen in for inspiring interviews, solo chats, and Q&A sessions that will move you past overwhelm towards what lights you up. Stop accepting good enough and go for your version of great in your health, business, and relationships. Let's get started. Hi, welcome to this Q&A episode. I hope you're having a great week and that you are getting some much needed refreshing this August as you plan for the busy season ahead and as you plan for those things that you're most looking forward to accomplishing in your life, the impact that you want to make, the growth that you want to see happening in your personal and professional life, and the times of rest that you want to have factored in throughout the whole year. We can tend to get caught up in the idea that rest only can happen during certain windows throughout the year following a calendar. And I'm here to remind you, you get to decide what it looks like for you. We can factor in rest every day. We do typically every night, right? So often people struggle with their sleep though. And so how restful is your sleep? These are some things to consider, and I'll be unpacking some of this in future episodes. For today, I wanted to talk about 3 steps that precede self-care, the journey that you're on to caring the most for your precious body, mind, soul, so that you can make the impact and you can show up more fully rested, energized, and vibrant to do all the important things that you want to do in your life. As I've walked alongside women as they strategize their self-care and create the rituals that support them to show up fully, and as I've walked this journey personally, I've noticed there's 3 things that actually precede starting with the self-care. And it turns out they all start with D. The very first one is dissatisfaction. This usually comes up when life is moving along and there's chaos, there's overwhelm, there's some kind of feeling of unrest. You may be feeling unwell in some way. You may be feeling burned out. And it starts to show up not just for you, but you see it in other areas of your life. You see everything is impacting everything. I don't think that people typically will say, I want to enhance my self-care practice if life is moving on without anything out of the ordinary happening or without any struggle or stress. Usually self-care is often and has been touted often as a luxury, and it has been attached to all these different things that can sometimes feel out of reach for people with their time or maybe with their resources. But really self-care is something that is all-encompassing in your life, and it does impact everything from your spiritual well-being to your relationships, to your health, and to your purpose here in this world. And so people typically will get dissatisfied with something. They'll hit a breaking point and they'll realize, okay, I need to reevaluate. So that's the first step that typically happens, and people find themselves at a crossroads, looking at every area of their life and questioning everything and maybe wanting to just burn the whole thing down. And you'll hear this from people when they find themselves wanting to question everything, including their career, and just wanting to make a total shift. So dissatisfaction. And so often when I'm talking to people, I will ask them, what are you the most dissatisfied with in your life? Where are the struggles? And from there, we can flesh out what the next steps are. That leads us into the second step that precedes self-care, and that is dissecting. Once you've uncovered that you're dissatisfied with how things are going, and the beautiful thing is that dissatisfaction is just information to show you that you want or need something different. So that's a good thing. It's like a wake-up call for you. And that leads into the dissecting, where you actually look at all the different areas of your life and you start to question, do I want to be doing all of these things right now? Do I want to delay some of these things? Do I want to cancel some of these things? Do I want to move into a completely different way of living my life? Do I need to take a break? And so we sit down and we dissect, what does that look like for you? We can go as deep as you want. And I have found really making that space to go deep, to look inside of really how you're feeling and how you've been feeling the last year, the last 5 years, and to see also if there are patterns that you have brought forth over decades into this space that you're at now, and you've just never felt like you can make a shift. You feel like this is just the way it's always been done. So I don't need to question it. I don't feel great, but hey, that's life. Let's just put our nose to the grindstone and keep going. There is a better way. And when you take the time to dissect where you've been, you can start to make shifts so that where you're going is a much more enjoyable process. And once we've done that, the third step is to decide. It's making decisions. Decision, you may have heard, it seems like everybody's talking about this right now. The word decide is made up of 2 words, to cut off. And so you're basically wanting to make a shift and get rid of those things that aren't serving you. You want to be able to then move into the things that do. That decision can be challenging because much of what we do in our life, we start to have as part of our identity. And making a change with who the essence of who we are is, or at least feeling like that is what is happening, can be very unsettling. And it's also, how do people perceive us in the decisions we're making? Your decisions may, and most likely, don't just impact you. They impact your partner, your kids, your colleagues, your friends, your extended family members. They may not all understand why you're making the decisions you're making, and they may not always agree. You may even have, though, some beautiful cheerleaders and people watching you who are championing your decision to make a decision for yourself, for your well-being. So I love to support women through that process so that you can make the decision and then hold yourself accountable to it and take the steps forward that actually serve you well. The beauty of deciding is you can then take steps forward with some confidence and know that you can always go back and go through these 3 steps at any time. It's something really wonderful to reevaluate over time, to reevaluate all the different contracts in our life, starting with the contracts with ourself, asking, wait, why am I doing the things I'm doing in the way that I'm doing them? Is this something I decided, or is this something that I just picked up from the programming that I was raised in, or the workplace that I've worked in, or the work culture in my business? Is this something that I just see happening with people in my culture? You get to decide and you get to reevaluate. And that is a beautiful thing. You can do it at any point in time that you want. And when you do that, you can then move into the 1, maybe 2 things that you are going to find support you in feeling your best, creating space in your life so that you're not overwhelmed. Your schedule actually gets more cleared so you can be with your thoughts and feel into the decisions that you're making going forward. Taking time away from the ordinary things in your life and letting go of things that you've been doing for many years can feel very unsettling because it leaves this void of open space. But when you enter into it with support, with someone who has walked along the journey with people, and also with the knowledge that this is like an open door into a whole new way of being for you, it can feel incredibly exciting and very spacious too. Sometimes we don't know what to do with that space. Oh, I have so many ideas of what you can do with that space. So feel free to reach out and I would love to let you know. So those are the 3 steps. And I find it's so important as we're looking at this to really have a lot of grace on ourselves for feeling dissatisfied, for knowing that it's okay for us to change our mind about things and to make different decisions. The people around us, if they really truly love us, they're going to support us in wanting to feel our best and to do the things that nourish us, whether that is having a regular time where you connect with a friend live in person that you normally would not make space for because it just seems like it would be too busy, and you just get so filled up. This has been happening a lot for me the last few years. I have created the space with really dear girlfriends to spend time and to invest, really, not to spend, but to invest in the relationship. And it can seem when you look at your calendar, oh my goodness, that looks really busy. But man, does it ever feel spacious when you actually do it, because you're around that energy that makes you feel buoyant and you feel like you can do so much more in such a more aligned way because of that time spent. If we don't ever plan these things that bring us joy and actually do them, they just swirl around in our head and they make us feel busier than we really are. There's something so beautiful about deciding and moving forward, and I would love to support you in that way. If you want to feel as powerful in your body in this coming season as you do in your business, which, hey, you're listening to this, you must listen to other podcasts. You probably feel really powerful and strong in the things that you've achieved. And perhaps self-care might be something that you want to step up your game in. Well, doors to the 6-week self-care challenge are opening on August 29th for us to get started at the beginning of September. It is an experience designed to help you hone in on the things that will help you feel your most energized, rested, focused, and joyful while not overwhelming your schedule. If you find this resonating inside of you and feeling like a little bit of an urge to just reach out and say, yes, we really need to talk, I have a short form for you to fill out that is at the link in the show notes. It's sheilabatello.com/strategy. And you can book a complimentary strategy session with me and we can discuss some details. You really, truly deserve to feel strong and amazing in your body during every single season of your life. So you can tap the link in the show notes. You just need to fill out a few quick questions, and then there is a calendar link so you can book a time to talk with me. That way I get to know a little bit about you and what you're looking for before we talk. I truly hope to chat with you. I hope to hear your story. It is going to be such a beautiful experience. I appreciate you listening today, and wherever you are, give yourself a hug. I hope you have an incredible rest of your day. Big blessings. Thank you so much for being here with me on the Connect podcast. If you like this episode, please share it with someone you think would enjoy it. Also, if you head over to iTunes to leave a review, I'd be so grateful. Let us know what your favorite parts were and what you'd like to hear more of. It will help us have a greater impact, elevating many more people to grow and succeed together. See you next time.